Paul's bike should be. Whether we'll see Steve on circuit or not, I'm not entirely sure. Whether he's offered to go for an early bath or something along the lines of that, let's wait and find out. But Jay Clark on pole position, Keith Bolton in the MotoTeam machine, and Sean Whittaker alongside him. Let's wait and see what will happen. We'll get the start ready to go. The flag is displayed. They point towards the lighting gantry here at the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. Revs are rising here at FAB-Racing for the final time in 2016. It's pit by 140 and MotoTeam race is go. And it's a good start there from the second row of the grid for Keith Bolton. He gets an absolute flyer, but Simon Clowes once again gets an absolute belter if he gets away from the second row of the grid. And he's going to lead surely in towards the first corner here at the Mallory Park circuit. He's got the outside line. Will he manage to hold it around there? Yes, he will. So Simon Clowes leads the way then. Keith Bolton made an absolute flyer of the start as well. Did he manage to hold on though to second place going through turn one? Yes, indeed he did. So it is Keith Bolton then in second place. And third place looks to be like it was Sean Whittaker for the time being as they come down the back straight already. And Sean Whittaker has not made it too bad of a start there at all. He's sitting in third position so far within this particular race. Meanwhile, looks like the pole position, Jay Clark, lost a bit of ground on that opening lap as well. He's down in about third place, or fourth place, nearly into third. Tries to get himself up ahead of what looks to actually be Jay King now in third place. So Jay King has made a good start there, and he started this particular race down in seventh position on the third row of the grid, and he's looking pretty good guns out there. Meanwhile, up the hill we go for the first time of asking here at the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship in the second race of the afternoon for the Pit Bike 140 and MotoTeam category. Breaking down into the hairpin, up the inside of Simon Clowes goes Keith Bolton for second place. Jay King on the outside of Jay Clark as well. Jay Clark looking up the inside into the bus stop chicane we go, and he's up into third place. So Jay Clark moves himself up back up into P3 and into the podium contention, and now ahead of Simon Clowes as they come across the line, nearly 3 wide between them. Over the timing line we go, and it's Jay Clark who's managed to get that advantage, and he's got the great slipstream off of Keith Bolton who's leading the way. Bolton's bike doesn't have the straight line advantage as they go in towards turn one. It is going to be Jay Clark then that leads the way from Keith Bolton in second place. Simon Clowes still holding on to third position, and then keep an eye out for Jay King in fourth place as well. And Jay King, he had a really good start to the first race, of course, here at Mallory Park, but it really faded towards the second half, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares here this afternoon for the second and, of course, the final race of the weekend. Simon Clowes now looks like he's down into P3. Indeed he is. He's separated by two Pit Bike 140 machines in the form of Jake Clark and Jay King. Then keep an eye out for fifth position as well, because that's Ben Pascoe. Sean Whittaker actually down in P6 after that opening lap, so Whittaker's really lost out. That's a real shame there for the number 12. And now he's coming under a bit of pressure is Whittaker from, by the looks of things, Ashley Errington, who's competing in the MotoTeam category. No, I apologise. Yes, indeed he is. Ashley Errington in the MotoTeam category. The bikes, though, come up the hill and in towards the hairpin for the second time of asking. Bolton looking to try and find a way through against Jake Clark at the moment. Simon Clowes looking to try and find a way through against against the second place man of Keith Bolton. No way through for them there as they go through the left-hander. The final corner on the circuit, cascading down the hill and over the timing line once again. Here comes Simon Clowes looking up the inside of Keith Bolton as they come across the timing line. The two MotoTeam machines going great guns around here at Mallory Park in towards the first corner. Simon Clowes, will he manage to hold on to that position? He's got the inside line. Keith Bolton not trying to relinquish it though, and Simon Clowes has to back out of it at the last moment, and Bolton looking to try and get himself ahead of Jake Clark already as they go through into the chicane at the second part of this first sector of the lap. Into the chicane they go and on towards the back straight here at Mallory. Still Clark that leads the way then from Keith Bolton, now then from Simon Clowes. Then there's a bit of a gap back now to Jay King, and behind Jay King we've got Ben Pascoe, of course. Or it was Ben Pascoe, it's now looks to be Sean Whittaker. So Whittaker looks like he's made some good progress over the last couple of laps. Indeed he has. In front of Whittaker at the moment still looks to be Jay King, and behind him is Ashley Errington. Meanwhile, the two MotoTeam contingents battling for the lead of that category and battling for second overall in this race. Up the hill we go. Simon Clowes in second place, then comes Keith Bolton in P3 up the hill and in towards that hairpin braking zone they go. Still going to be Clark that leads the way then from Simon Clowes, but here comes Bolton up the inside of Simon. Oh, bit of contact between the two of them. They managed to hold on to their bikes, so they managed to make their way around the corner quite easily, as it turns out, but nonetheless, very, very exciting. And interesting to see Hudson Kenner's progress through the field, considering he started right at the back of the grid. He's now up into P11 on the number 50 machine, making a good progress through the field is Hudson Kenner. 10 laps, of course, for these riders to contend with. Keep an eye out for Fraser Kinnaird as well, of course. He's the championship favourite, but Sam Clowes, rather, I should say, now up into P8 rather in this race. P3 within the MotoTeam category by the looks of things. And then, of course, it's going to be very interesting to note how things will go with regards to the Pit Bike 140 MotoTeam Championships, both to be decided here this weekend. Looks like we've got a rider that stops on the top of the hill here at Mallory Park as well. Can't quite see who that is from this angle. I do hope it's not Fraser Kinnaird. I can see the yellow backing on the back of his number plate, but I can't quite see who the rider is. Let's count them across the timing line. I didn't quite catch who it was, but let's wait and see. Fraser Kinnaird, he's still up there in P7, so Fraser still out and circulating in this race. He's not too far behind. In fact, he's now in front of Sam Clowes after that last lap. So very interesting to see, but still Jake Clark who leads the way then from Simon Clowes. Oh, I say Simon Clowes, it's now Keith Bolton as Bolton gets himself back up the inside, and Simon Clowes now down into P3 once again as the bikes make their way through that hairpin bend and on towards the bus stop chicane very shortly afterwards. The left, right, left, and then over the timing line. Clark leading the way from Simon Clowes. Then comes Keith Bolton. And then further behind, Jay King and Sean Whittaker are going hammer and tong as well for 4th and 5th place respectively. And now Sam Clowes up into P6 in this race as well. And Sam, of course, who dropped it at that hairpin at the far end of the circuit on the first race, really not consolidating his championship charges. Meanwhile, his nearest championship rival, Fraser Kinnaird, managed to finish that race. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen with regards to the Pit Bike 140 and MotoTeam Championship here at the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. Hudson Kenner now up into P8 as well. He's managed to dispose of Fraser Kinnaird, Mark Pollitt and Alistair Kinnaird on that last lap. So Hudson Kenner, of course, racing on the number 50, of course, ex-Superstock 1000 national champion. And of course he's raced in the likes of BSB over the last few years as well. He's doing pretty well out there, as you would begin to expect, on the number 50 machine. On his MotoTeam bike, of course, you've got two different types of motorcycles. You've got the Pit Bike 140 machines, and then you've got the MotoTeam machines. A marked difference in performance, a marked difference in styling on the bikes as well, because the MotoTeam bikes looking more akin to road bikes as opposed to the Supermoto style machines of the Pit Bike 140 contingents. Really interesting to see as up the inside of Hudson Kenner goes Fraser Kinnaird. Kinnaird getting himself back ahead by the looks of things. In fact, it might have actually been Mark Pollitt who got himself past. Across the line, though, Jay King and Sean Whittaker battling for 4th place. Whittaker looking up the inside of Jay King as they go in towards the sweeping right-handed bend at the far after the start-finish straight. No way through for Jay King to hold on to that position, and now he's going to lose out also to Sam Clowes as well. Sam Clowes on the number 33, looking to get himself up into P5 and into 3rd position in the MotoTeam category. It'll be very interesting to see whether that does indeed begin to pull off, but Jake Clark still leading the way. Simon Clowes closing right up all over the back of Jake King's bike over the last couple of laps. He's looking to try and find a way through as they go through the chicane. No way through for him there at all, though. Meanwhile, further back, still Jay King battling with Sean Whittaker. Through the right-hander they go, and it's Whittaker on top ahead of King at the moment. And they keep an eye on the riders behind them as well, because it's now Sam Clowes and Hudson Kenner who are not too far behind them at all. Kenner up now into P6 in this race, now ahead of Sam Clowes. So Clowes perhaps not gelling with that new motorcycle as much as we thought he may do, as they come through the right-hander. The top three of Jake Clark, Simon Clowes and Keith Bolton all in the same shot. Then further back of Sean Whittaker. And keep an eye out as well for Sam Clowes and of course of Jay King. Sam Clowes into P5, looking to try and get himself ahead of Whittaker and Jay King now as well. They're going to be side by side as they come on towards the start-finish straight once again and over the timing line. So Whittaker in 4th place, Jay King in 5th, Sam Clowes in 6th, 7th place for Hudson Kenner at the moment. And Kenner, of course, could prove to be very, very interesting as they go sweeping through the first corner. That flat-out right-hander of Gerard's very, very quick on one of these pit bike machines. Very noisy, these motorcycles as well. Tony Campana Jr. just went flying past our shot. He lost the position on that last lap to Dan Mills in 7th place. So Dan Mills not looking too bad out there in the MotoTeam category, but perhaps not the fastest rider we have seen all weekend out on track. But Jake Clark still leading the way with the number 13. It's unlucky for some, but certainly not for Jake. But he is coming under a lot of pressure now from Simon Clowes. Clowes looking to try and find a way through as they go through into the right-hander, but no way through for them there at the moment. Breaking down into the right chicane at the end of the lap here at the Mallory Park circuit. Fantastic to see. Hello, by the way, to everybody who's watching us live on Facebook here at the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. It's really wonderful to have your company, and thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're listening from the UK or further afield or anywhere else that we are yet to be aware of, it is great to have you along, and thank you very, very much. We do appreciate your company. We're live providing exclusive coverage of the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship only on Motorsport Radio. motorsport-radio.com if you want to find out more about what we do. Meanwhile, Sam Cloud still battling with Jay King and Hudson Kenner as they come to the line once again to start their 7th lap. Very, very close between the two. It was Cloud ahead of Kenner, ahead of King for 4th position as they came across the line. In towards the first corner we go. Kenner looking to try and get himself up into P4 in this race. Really going great guns as the ex-Superstock 1000 national champion as they came across the timing line. Into the right-hander, still Jake Clark on the back straight though, trying to defend from Simon Clowes. Clowes really closing up over the last couple of corners. In towards the chicane at the far end of the circuit we go, but no way through for them there. They have to hold on to it once again. P3 man of Keith Bolton having his best run so far. He's currently sitting in 2nd place in the MotoTeam category because it's now Simon Clowes that actually leads the way. So Simon, who looks to be still out in front after that last half a lap, will count them through as they go into the hairpin here at the Mallory Park circuit. Just approaching 4 p.m. local time it is as well. Just a couple more races left to run here today, and it is Simon Clowes who leads the way then ahead of Jake Clark. Then it is Keith Bolton in P3. The rest of the runners then coming through as they get their way through some lap traffic. Keep an eye out who is in 4th place. Is it Sam Clowes or is it Hudson Kenner? It's Sam Clowes then from Sean Whittaker, from Hudson Kenner, and then Jay King has really lost out in that lap traffic. He is now down into P7. Across the line they go. Simon Clowes takes the checkered flag. Jake Clark in 2nd place. Keith Bolton rounds out your top 3 on the overall podium. Who will finish the best of the rest though? Will it be Sam Clowes? Yes indeed it will be for the MotoTeam category. Brilliant to see there from Sam Clowes. Sean Whittaker into P5. Hudson Kenner finishes in P6. Jay King in 7th position. Mark Pollitt in 8th place, just ahead of Ben Pascoe by the skin of his teeth. Fraser Kinnaird is in 10th position, the closest MotoTeam champion. Contingent rather I should say in the championship, ahead of Alistair Kinnaird. So of course with there being 2 different categories that competed in that race, that means